Hi, welcome to Jurassic World Leadership Lessons. This is the final episode in this mini-series, if you will, on leadership lessons that we learned from the film Jurassic World and the films that go and kind of revolve around it. We've been covering a variety of things, and if you haven't heard the other 4 editions, go back and listen. There are some practical leadership advice for you, no matter where you're trying to lead. If it's in a church environment, if it's a business environment, a home environment, a school environment, with some type of small group that you're working with, and so some club that you're involved with as you're dealing with others. There are some lessons there that if you will take them to heart, I promise, will make you a better leader. Here's the last lesson that I want to share with you that springs out of the Jurassic World movies, but I think is essential for us as leaders. You, as a leader, can choose your decisions, but you don't get to choose your consequences. I'll say that again. You, as a leader, get to choose your decisions, but you don't get to choose your consequences. What I mean by that is that there are things that happen, and you always have choices to make, but after you make that choice, you're just never really sure what's going to happen next. As a Christian, I will tell people, you can choose your sin, you can choose to make a mistake, but you don't get the opportunity to choose what's going to happen and the ripple effect of that mistake. You have to deal with the consequences. If you go back to the movie, when Indominus Rex escaped captivity and he was headed toward the theme park with over 20,000 visitors, Claire makes this statement in the film. She says, "I'm not going to turn this place into a war zone." Owen reminds her that she doesn't have a choice when he tells her, "You already have." It is a sobering moment for her as she realizes that this thing that she has worked so hard to create, now she can't do anything about. The consequences are going to fall as a ripple effect of it. And for leaders, that's a hard lesson to learn as well. Because as leaders, most leaders don't mind making choices, and most leaders don't mind making powerful choices. What you don't have the luxury of, and I don't either, are choosing the consequences that come as a result of that leadership decision. If you're a follower and you want to put it back into a Christian environment, you lead and you lead well and you lead wisely and you make the choices that Jesus asks you to make. But what do we do when we're done? We trust the Holy Spirit for the results. Because our job is to be obedient. Your job as a leader is to be obedient. And when you're willing to be the best leader that you can be, the best version of yourself, and you do the best that you possibly can, you make those choices based on all that information that you have, then when those choices are done, there will be consequences that follow, and you can't really choose your way out of them. You can choose how you react to them. You may have to make some choices that fix or correct. You may have to make some choices that will change direction. You may have to make some choices that will try to take you back and circle you back to the very beginning again. But what is out of your control at that point is the consequences of the choice that you made. For some, that is so heavy a burden that they refuse to lead. Because that is a burden. Because the responsibility that a leader carries, I believe, is huge. But if you're called to be a leader, and hence the word called to be a leader, don't be afraid to embrace that and be the best leader you can be. And when you do, then you have to trust God for the results. Great leaders know that. And great leaders then will choose as wisely as they can to be successful as leaders, but more importantly, to make the people around them as successful as they can be. When you learn that, you're well on your way to being a spectacular leader. And that kind of leadership can change the world. Remember, you were not created for extinction. So I appreciate you joining me in this mini-series on leadership based on Jurassic World. And if you haven't seen the films, go see all 3 of them. They're great fun.